Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Do you want me to wait?
No, it's cool. Thumbs up. Okay. Hi. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Sacred Song class. I'm Jerry Walsh, and today we're gonna do two different things. First thing is we're gonna learn the fundamentals of tube and throat singing, which is okay. Cool. Excitement. Sometimes people are like really like, oh my God, that's very difficult.
Lately for me too.
Really? Okay, wonderful. I'm glad you guys are here. Perfect. Because it is something that's it's challenging, but it's really a wonderful thing to learn. It's extremely purgative because it deals so much with the throat chakra and like opening that center. It's really powerful, and it's just a wonderful element to add into any kind of singing. So what I was thinking to do is there's 4 different styles, and I'll demonstrate them all, and I will teach each one, and depending on how well it's going, how much you guys are feeling connected to it, we might go in, I might teach a couple songs, but we might just stay with the throat singing. We'll just feel it out. You guys can let me know how you're doing. And so before we open up to the directions, I'll just say, once again, my name is Jerry Walsh. I live here at Golden Drum. We're in the Arc right now, but I live downstairs at Golden Drums, the art space, obviously. And I've been practicing this style of singing since 2013. I've worked with a couple different teachers. The one who has helped me the most is from Finland, named Mikko Heikenpolka. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing his last name right, but he went to Tuva and he won a competition there in the style of hume, which is a middle tone style of throat singing. And I brought him here last year for a festival, and he learned a lot from him. And so I've been teaching recently. I was at Alex Gray's Chapel of Sacred Mirrors this weekend. I taught this workshop up there. So happy to be here at the Arc, bringing it home. It's great to be here. Thank you guys for coming. Really appreciate it. Thank you, people on the internet. So I figured to open up to the directions, what we will do is just kind of go into a meditation. And since there's 4 directions, I'm going to open with the 4 different styles of throat singing, just to demonstrate as we go along. And then in our community, we address the 3 hearts, so we'll just do that verbally. So we can just close our eyes, and we're just gonna go into the direction of the east, which is the element of air, our childhood years, and gonna just invoke that. So now we connect into the element of fire, the spirit of the south, which is the totem of the jaguar, the coyote, and the wolf, and spirit of creativity. And now we move into the gate of the water, which is the direction of the west, the black bear medicine. This is the direction of our adult years where the element of water flows with our emotional body. And now we move into the direction of the north, the wisdom years, white buffalo, calf pipe woman, and the earth element. And we give acknowledgement to the heart of the cosmos, Hunaku, giver, movement and measure, as above, so below, to the direction of the earth, the ground beneath us, our home, center of abundance, unconditional love, and then taking a moment to connect into our heart and just to feel the sense of community, togetherness, and peace. Aho. Okay, so what I did there were 4 different styles of throat singing. The first one is called Horik Tir, which is generally spelled with an X. The spelling is not super important because it's, you're translating Tuvan language into English. And so just in case you don't know, Tuva is a small republic in Russia where it's like a small state in Russia. It's very unique culture from Mongolia, from Russia. There's a kind of a joke that people say it's Tuva is to Mongolia as New Jersey is to New York City. They look similar, they're close similar, but they're very different culturally. Very different. So Tuvan throat singing predates human language. It's been around for a very long time. It is designed in a sense to imitate the sounds of nature, the wind, the water, horses galloping, thunder, lightning, this kind of thing. At the same time, yes, it is a very mystical, kind of ethereal, alien-like sound, but at the same time, it's also in Tuvan music common to sing about raising cattle and drinking beer and chasing women because it's a nomadic culture and just ordinary people. So it is very mystical. There's a very deep, rich spiritual lineage surrounding the tradition, but at the same time, there's this very ordinary, mundane aspect that's infused with it. And I think there's something kind of beautiful about that. I actually like that, just because it reflects sort of the nature of duality, I think, on some level. So the first style I was doing was called Horik Tir. Generally spelled X, this is how I spell it, and I've seen it spelled Xorekteer, something along those lines. And what Horik Tir literally translates to is singing with the chest. And so in Western overtone singing, you'll hear split notes like this, where you have this fundamental drone, then you have the E coming up like that, and there's 2 notes at the same time. And so what differentiates Western overtone singing from Tuvan throat overtone singing is that you are engaging the diaphragm and the abdominal region and the chest, and you're squeezing the vocal cords. And by squeezing the vocal cords and not just the tongue, hi, come on in. We're just getting started. Welcome. So, yeah, feel free to have a seat here. So learning this style of singing, the key thing is just learning to engage our vocal cords and our abdominal region. Hi, welcome. I'm Jerry. I'm teaching Tuvan throat singing. I don't know if you guys are familiar with what that is at all. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll demonstrate a little bit, but you're at a good time to come in. So the first thing I would like to do is for everyone just to put your hands on your stomach. And just normally when we breathe very like vertically, and we only really draw in enough oxygen on the very superficial level. So what we want to do is start breathing laterally from the abdominal region, and it's going to activate the diaphragm, which is this muscle right here. So as we inhale, or as we expand, we inhale, and as we contract, we exhale. And just feel that for a moment, and notice how your shoulders don't need to move. It's just coming from your abs. Everyone grasps this, pretty simple. So this area is kind of like, I think in Zen Buddhism, they have something, Dantian, I think is what they call it. It's a center for like power and control. And like the Manipura chakra, I think, is right in this area as well. So you have here, this is where you're going to activate the muscles to engage the vocal cords to constrict them, which is going to create the ethereal aspect of the overtone over the normal just toning. So in order to figure out where, because we also have to squeeze up here too. So just because you guys jumped in, the style we're going to show right now is called Horik Tir, and it sounds like this. Really crazy style of like singing like that. So what's happening is I'm engaging the vocal cords here by flexing the abdominal region down here. And to know where your vocal cords are inside the larynx, the voice box, what you do is basically this exercise. I'm gonna tone, and then I'm gonna cut it off really abruptly. And as it cuts off abruptly, what's happening is the vocal cords are flexing and they're cutting the note. So and the way I'm engaging that note to stop is that I'm flexing here. So try doing that right now if that makes sense, and if it doesn't, I have a trick to show you a little bit more about it. So tries to yeah. Good. Good. So do it. What's happening is that you are literally squeezing your vocal cords, and it's shutting off the airflow and stopping the note and the vibration in your voice. So what we want to do is engage it in the same way, but we don't want to squeeze it so much that it shuts the note off. We want to engage it where there's tension, but there's a level of control where we're holding the tension just enough that it's not shutting the note off. So if you just went from now try going, squeezing it without shutting it off like this. Like that. It sounds weird. It is weird, but it's cool if you can figure it out.
Can you do it again?
Yeah. And keeping a hand here is helpful because you just know if you're moving it or not. So try going, yeah.
Does that sound like?
So right now, everyone, I want everyone to make this sound. The bubbling. Now take your hand and feel where most of the bubbling is occurring. It should be right here. What you're feeling are your vocal cords going like this when you do that. That's the spot that you should feel tension in when you squeeze down here. So it's kind of like, it's not just squeezing here and it's not just squeezing here. You're squeezing here. At the same time, it's kind of like if you're closing your throat, as if maybe you walked into a very smoky room. You're like, I don't want to inhale that. Or you want to close your throat for some reason or another. So simultaneous squeeze here and here while basically saying the vowel consonant ah. So ah. Not bad. So I think with this style of singing, it's there's something I'd like to tell people, which is that you might not walk away from here being like a master throat singer, which but at the same time, these are tools that you can really understand what it's about, and if you feel inspired to practice it, you can approach it. So just don't be discouraged, even if it is sort of a little foreign, because in essence, you're activating a part of your muscle and your physical system that, for a lot of people, is dormant and not engaged in this kind of conscious way. So it's kind of like a tricky thing. But anyway, it can be done. So that was decent, but what I want you guys to do, because I think it might just help make this a little more understandable, is make the sound of a goat like this. Ah, ah. Yeah. Okay, now everyone can do a goat, right? Because what's interesting about these styles of singing is, in a lot of ways, different people come across them different ways. Like, you can teach someone very technically, but at the same time, a person can kind of just like tap into it just by imitation and just by experimentation through their own body and self-awareness. So doing the goat sound is, in essence, the same thing as Horiktir, except that one is a goat sound and one is like in a song where you're toning. So try taking the stutter out. So instead of it's
Can we start with the stutter?
You can start with the stutter. That's cool. Good. Okay, so that sounded
felt more
pretty
natural.
Yeah,
definitely.
that felt good.
So now try doing that
I
again.
felt it in my stomach too, like the
Yes.
tension.
Perfect. That's exactly what I was going to say was do it again, but this time I want you to, one, push beyond what you think your lung capacity is, because it's always a little bit easier to go a little bit more than you think, which means just keep singing for a little bit longer than you want to. Two is experiment and explore with how contracting this is affecting the sound. And if you're having a hard time, you can kind of cup your ear. It'll help you just focus on how you sound. So I'll just do it once. So you can start with the goat, which I'll do, but remember, this is important. So, and so one thing that I like to do with it is shift the pitch a little bit. I find it helps, like sing from a higher or lower register. I think it helps kind of just situate yourself where the expression of the tonality should be. So you guys just try that for about 30 seconds to a minute, and I'll just listen and don't feel self-conscious. It's cool. It's a group voice.
Really
It's like,
inner child
yeah.
medicine class. for sure.
It's like I was saying in the beginning, it's really good for just opening and releasing. So yeah. Good. Okay. So would someone like to be brave and stand out and try it? I mean, no.
do
If
it.
no one wants to, yeah.
I'll do it. I don't
Okay,
care.
go,
Yeah.
please.
Here to learn.
Yeah. Awesome.
Okay. Do this thing, like hold
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Just however
I
it
start
sounds
with
is
the
cool.
goat? I start with the goat. Start like
If you
as a goat.
yeah, if you want to.
I'm like nervous now. Sorry.
Maybe
That's
we-
okay.
Will it help if we promise not to look at you?
No, I don't care. It's okay.
Okay.
You can do it with me.
That's pretty good. Yeah. Let's just give a round of applause. Yeah. So that was great. What I think will allow you, if you feel inspired to continue practicing it, is just to keep working on the constriction and
Yeah.
squeezing. And one thing that someone I was teaching said a great phrase to me the other week. He was saying that, the idea is to find grace within the tension, where you're tension, but the idea is that you kind of want to be like open, and you want to be projecting, so it's loud, and you want to feel not that your face is turning red or your throat's hurting. For me, my face turns red sometimes. It's just because like at certain moments you're just overextending yourself, and it's kind of just normal as you're learning. And sometimes the throat will be irritated. It just kind of happens. But you know if it starts to be irritated, then you want to ease off and just relax with it a little bit more. So I actually want to come back to this style of singing and kind of go into something that's actually easier, which is the Western overtone singing. And I really think that everyone can do it. And it's something that, even if it takes a moment, it's something that can be done by everyone. So with overtone singing, what's happening is we have a fundamental drone, like, and then we're splitting the note with the tongue. So this is this is my roof of my mouth. These are my teeth. This is my tongue coming up, and this is a visual demonstration of what happens with my mouth. So, so what's happening to create that additional note, the overtone, is that my tongue is coming up. And in Western overtone singing, it does not require the squeezing and the contraction. That's the thing for most people that's really difficult. Getting the note to come up or getting the tongue to come up to split the note is something that I think sounds really cool and can be done by anyone, and it's not as difficult. and it's kind of a good precursor to getting into some of these more complicated styles. So let's all just try chanting for a few minutes the vocable who. Like just come in with me. We're just gonna chant for a little bit, and then we'll move into the overtone with it. So cool. That was just a attention though.
I like that.
Yeah. So that's simple. We're gonna do that again, but when you feel called, I want you to bring the tongue up to the roof of the mouth, and what you want to do is, to the best of your ability, seal as much of the aerospace as you can, except one spot. For me, I like to leave the left side open a little bit. Everything else is sealed. The idea is there's as small of a tiny space of air to come through as possible. And I also find it's helpful to kind of elongate the face, like, and then, like, you're really over exaggerating your facial expression. It's helpful, because what you're doing is you're creating a resonant cavity in your mouth, like what you would see with a guitar. So when you pluck the guitar string in midair with no guitar body, it doesn't sound like anything. You put it against the body of the guitar, there's a resonating chamber. So what we're doing is obvious, but we're creating a resonating chamber for this note to kind of move through. So what you can do is stretch out your face and experiment with the aperture, the size of your mouth, the opening. So you can kind of open it in different ways. And you ever watch the Tuvans? They sometimes get really crazy. They're like, like this. It's crazy.
Are you putting your entire tongue on the palate, or like just by the teeth?
I'm putting as much of my tongue onto the roof of my mouth as
Yeah.
I can, and I generally am putting it right where the teeth and the gummy kind of skin part meet, and then just leaving the smallest possible space. And then what I do is I try to listen, and then just slightly maneuver it a little bit to hear how it affects the sound and play with it.
Okay.
And that's where you're going to get kind of that vocal expression. Makes sense to everybody?
We're doing
Cool.
the who.
Yeah, so we're just going to chant who for a little bit. I'm just going to have it set a little timer. I don't know how long we do it for. We'll just as we feel. But let's just begin. Keep going, I just want to listen. did that feel for you guys? Anyone feel like they kind of were getting it? Yeah, no? Okay.
That higher pitch.
So, with the higher pitch is the tongue just coming up and splitting the note. And what I am doing to get it to come out higher and higher is kind of adding more tension in the abdominal region. So if I add no tension, it sounds a little more flat. It's like, as opposed to, you can hear, I'll start squeezing from loose to, and you'll hear how much tension changes the note.
Tension here.
Yeah, so it's the same thing we were doing in the, what's that?
Like a combination between the previous technique and this one.
Yeah, although, we're kind of getting a little bit ahead of ourselves. I initially just wanted you guys to kind of have a moment to like sing and kind of explore with the voice, and just playing with the tongue and having something that feel you can walk away from here like at least understanding, because I know the other aspects are really challenging. So, can I hear you doing, if you don't mind, what you were doing before? Because you were definitely onto something, and I just want to hear it isolated.
Okay.
Cool.
I'm not doing it as well.
What's that? That's okay. It sounds good. Cool. So you're starting to use the tongue to play with the note, which is great. One thing that you could do is try to hold the tongue in one place instead of moving it around in different areas, and try to kind of add some almost stress and like accentuate the tongue into like a specific, almost like a yoga pose in a way. to kind of hold it in that area to really draw out the overtone. Does anyone have a question about the overtone singing, or would you all like to try it again? Maybe just to, yeah, sure.
I have a question about the tongue.
Uh-huh.
So the tongue is, except for one small space, creating like a second chamber in your mouth between your tongue and the palate, and then there's a space beneath that's just kind of there.
Yeah, you're basically sealing as much of a layer between the tongue and the teeth as you can. Just leave a tiny hole open.
Cool.
And that tiny hole is kind of what's allowing this like whistling sound to kind of come out emitting. And so what I would say is, when you're doing this, if you're not feeling that the sound is coming out, try moving the tongue and experimenting, but try moving it like really subtly. Don't jump around, because it's just too much. But if you move it around just a tiny bit at each space, then you can kind of start to hear how it's affecting it, and give it a moment. And then also, if you guys are feeling like the tongue is in the right position, try just kind of engaging the abs a little bit, like we were doing with the breathing in the beginning of the class, and just add a little bit of tension. So let's just try doing the whoo toning, and then whenever you're ready, just bring the tongue up, and we'll just kind of stop naturally as we need. So just toning together who, and then bringing the tongue up to seal off everything but one area, and let that sound kind of emit out. That sounds good. Would you like to demonstrate?
She just killed it.
Cool.
She does.
Awesome. Perfect. Cool. Yay. Yay. Does anyone else feel like they completely have it or don't have it, or you're somewhere in between of a question or anything, or I don't know.
Definitely somewhere in between.
Or somewhere in between. Okay. So, we can kind of come back to that. So we were doing the Hork-Tyr voice when we first started, which was the yeah. So now, what's interesting about Tuvan throat singing is that all these styles kind of build on each other. So to go from Hork-Tyr into the next style of Hume, which is the sound I did for the direction, I think, for the south, all you do is change the shape of your mouth. And I know that you guys didn't really grasp the Hork-Tyr perfectly, but there's multiple ways to kind of explain it where it might actually be a little easier to start with this second style. But there's a couple different ways I've learned to teach it. So with Hork-Tyr and transitioning to Hume is like this. So all I'm going to do to transition from the first one to the second one is change the shape of my mouth. That's it. I'm not changing where I'm singing from. I'm not changing the amount I'm squeezing or anything. It's really simple. I'm just going ah to ooh. That's it. Ah, ooh. Yeah, very simple. So what that looks like is this. And then I'm adding variations of harmonic effect with the tongue just moving around, and that's pretty much how that style is generated. So one of the tricks that clicked for me with learning that style, it was one of the initially the harder ones for me to learn, and now it's become the one that I kind of can do the best in some level, is kind of learning to do this thing called like horse breath, like horse, like raspy. So let's all try to go like this. Whisper really loud, like you want someone several feet away from you to hear, like this. Like you're raspy breathing, whispering. And when you do it, try to contract as you express the with your abdominal region. It feels good to do this, I just think, in general. Okay, cool. So let's do that again, but let's add a little bit more tension like this. Without hurting ourselves. Yeah. Can you try to make it really drawn out? Like, that's great. And over here it sounds good too. Like we're super old and we just sit on a rocking chair all day or something like that, you know. Good. So I want you guys to just don't worry so much about the technical aspect of it, but just listen to how I transition from that into the Hume style. And don't think about it too much. Just try to mimic it, basically. So what I'm doing is I'm basically pushing tension with the whispering, but then just adding in my voice, switching from the whisper to the voice, but keeping the tension of the whisper. So I know I said just mimic it and don't worry about the technical side, but I'm explaining it anyway. So let's try just going from the whisper to our voice. And if you lose the tension, it's okay. I'll just do it one more time. That sounds good. Yeah.
I think I'm understanding.
Yeah.
You're basically just traveling up to here.
You're constricting your body basically, which just affects the way the vibration moves through it and the way the sound comes out. So it's actually not some crazy like technical thing. Maybe I'm over explaining it, but it's really just like you're squeezing, and that affects the vibration and the sound then. So if you're having a hard time just squeezing your vocal cords, try the whisper. Because to make that sound, you are constricting the vocal cords. Good.
For me, it was helpful to visualize the restriction here traveling up to my throat.
If that's helpful, then good.
Like,
Yeah.
Like it was just like traveling literally up my body until I got here, and then whatever sound was coming out was that same feeling here, up here. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's just do a couple more of those. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Let's just try doing that again. Let's like count. Just each do 5 of them. It's going ho, Good. So that sounded really great. What I want to do now is just have us do just the voice. And instead of going from the whisper to the voice, just starting, ooh, and that, the reason I'm doing this with my arm is to kind of express that what I'm doing is trying to deepen it and add more tension as I'm moving. So it's not just ooh, it's ooh. And if for some reason you get confused, go back to the whisper and transition. That'll help you kind of like connect with the body more. So let's just do that a little bit more, but just with the voice, unless you need the whisper. And I'm gonna play the Shruti box. Everyone knows what Shruti box is? Yeah? No? You know what a Shruti box is. It's from India. It's like this kind of accordion type thing. It's great for toning. But you're like, and so this thing is this kind of drone emitting instrument is wonderful for throat singing. It kind of blends really well because it's like a drone overtone singing. The two things just merge. I'm pretty sure this is in C#, and so we're just gonna kind of tune with that, but I want you guys to deepen your voice, and it should just add some more like oomph to your vocals.
Quick question.
Yes.
I'm assuming that throat singing strengthens your vocal cords?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is like, it's funny you say that because
Because it feels contrary, but I can imagine that it strengthens it.
it's like a great, throat singing is essentially like lifting weights for your throat. It will transform your voice. Like the moment I start doing it and then talk to people, my voice like expands and deepens. All of a sudden it feels like I'm speaking from a totally different part of myself. It's really interesting. It's very therapeutic in that sense. Like it's very healing for just opening when you're, I mean, if you ever felt depressed or anxious and you're like, yeah, okay. And then you go, whoa, and you're like, all of a sudden it just clears a lot very fast. It's, in the purgative center of the energetic chakra system. And it is, in essence, weight training in a way. So, like, to do it is not complicated. Just like picking up weights and putting them down. It's a very simple thing. But it is difficult because you're trying to activate muscles that are most of the time dormant for us, that aren't normal. So the more you do it, the easier it gets. Like, I put out a video that I can send you guys the link to on YouTube with all this information. And it's funny because it was like 2 years ago, and I've just improved so much since then, not because doing really anything differently, but just the muscles have developed more. And so you can see the difference, at least I can see it. So yeah, it's strengthening for your throat. It's helpful for speaking in every single way, so long as you don't overdo it. So I'm just going to play the Shruti for a little bit, and then we can just tune with it. And we're just going to kind of like go from the ooh, and just work on deepening and strengthening and constricting the vocal cords. And if you get a little confused, try just the whisper. And I just kind of want us to create like a group singing of tuning together, and this will kind of be like our anchor. So sounds good? Cool. Cool. That sounded pretty good. I heard you at one point really clearly just a moment ago. Getting some good stuff. I heard some things in all directions. It was great.
The ear cupping is really good because it's like
What is?
when the ear cupping,
like
Yeah.
listen to yourself.
when you get it, it's like whoa, okay, that's something is happening there. And then when you don't have it, it's like, oh, nothing's happening.
Yeah.
And then oh, there it is. Okay, so
Great.
thank you.
Great.
I feel like I heard when I did this, I heard my throat, if it's possible, open.
Yeah.
And then I felt the opening in my throat, and I realized I was toning from my throat.
Mm.
It was the realization I was getting by listening to it. It was
Great.
like, whoa, it's not just here, it's here.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Good.
Well put.
I'm happy to hear that some things are moving.
It's a Gemini.
So,
Explanation.
any questions at the moment about anything so far?
I have a question about breath.
Yep.
Like when you are like holding the note and then you're just trailing off and needing to take a breath to continue.
Uh-huh.
Do you have any suggestions for that transition?
I've done this style of singing a lot in concerts, and I find that sometimes to make it not just be super abrupt, what I'll do is I'll transition into normal vocals for just a brief moment, and that kind of letting go of the squeezing generally gives me enough of a cushion to have a little bit more air. Or if I know that I'm like really getting to the point of exhaustion, I try to just trail off. But yeah, it's cool to stop it. Like, if you're running out of air, the more you do it, the more you can hold it longer. I found, and like I found that there's times where it's like it's really psychological almost how long you think you can just sing in that style. So yeah, if that helps. Yeah.
So the point is to hear the overtones. Is it to create the overtones, or is it like?
Yeah, you're creating overtones. So like for instance, so we were just practicing the Hume style. What I was doing was just having you guys learn the basic drone of it, which is like this. Now, what you can do to like exaggerate and create more overtone sound is to move the tongue. So like here's now what it sounds like with the tongue engaged. No, sorry. Hold on. What I'm doing is going yeah, 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 yeah. It's just the movement of the tongue in and out like this. I teach and play didgeridoo as well, and it's the same thing with the didge. As you move the tongue, it changes the harmonic and it adds this like wee you. So let's all just try singing that together, just wee you, just so we understand the movement of the tongue. Wee you, wee you, wee you, wee you, wee you, wee you, wee you. Let's try just now. Make sense so far? Yeah. Let's just try just whispering that.
Not anything special. We're just.
I just want you to understand the aspect of the tongue coming in and out. Great. And let's all say, yeah, 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 yeah. Good. So, all you need to do to like create this kind of overtone within the Hume style, like the drone itself has these natural overtones embedded into it. You can just hear it like you don't really need to do much. It's already kind of there when you've really mastered the contraction, but when you add the tongue in to move, it really creates this very exaggerated aspect of it. So let's try doing the exercise we just did with the Shruti. Was it helpful to have the Shruti?
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't like,
was.
okay, cool. I'm going to do that again, and this time, do what you were doing before, where you were like, the first thing, if you're really stuck, try the, and then transition from the whisper into the voice. If you're good with that, and you can go to it right away, just start with the voice, and now add the tongue from just the wee you or the yeah or the whispering of the wee you. Just up and down, abruptly, slowly, whatever you want to do. It's cool. And also, what is also powerful is just changing the size of the aperture, the opening of the mouth. So like, kind of going like wow, 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 wow. That has an effect too, because anytime the chamber shifts, there's a change in sound. So we'll just go for like probably 2-3 minutes. Just experiment, listen to yourself, and experiment with the tongue. Experiment with how much tension you're putting here by seeing what it's like to flex this area more and more. Hold your breath longer and longer to see what happens. And we'll just listen to each other. Cool. You guys sound really good. People feel like you guys are kind of getting it a little bit. Yeah.
It's like a
Cool.
lot of fun.
It's so much fun.
Great. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
One
Happy to
of
hear
the
this.
cheapest, like, specifically like throat opening meditations I've ever done.
Yeah, it's good.
The whole head is like.
The ohm doing it at home.
So, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Really powerful.
Cool. So. Excellent. It's good feedback. Yeah, it's really powerful. So we can kind of keep going into throat singing. It sounds like you guys want to, or yeah, is this cool? Okay. I was gonna offer. I could teach a song. You know, if you guys want to learn a traditional song, but you know, it's not throat singing oriented. But it's 8 o'clock. We have half an hour, but whatever you guys.
Maybe we can do 15 minutes.
Can we like make a
You know, I personally, they're one of the songs I've had 2 songs in mind. I was thinking about teaching. One of them, I personally add in throat singing to it. It's a great song. I don't know. Yeah. Okay. It's as far as I know, it's a Cherokee song that comes from, I believe it's Diane Yahoo is the person who our community was passed to it by. She is First Nations person who's also deeply embedded in the Tibetan Buddhist Vajrayanic path, which is a pretty special thing. So I haven't met her, but I've heard good things. So the song goes like this. Way nay nay yaho way yo, way nay nay yaho way yo, way nay nay yaho way yo. Yana hey yana, yana we hayo, yana hey yana, yana we hayo, yana hey yo. Way nay nay yaho way yo, way nay nay yaho way yo, way nay nay yaho way yo. Yana hey yana, yana we hayo, yana hey yana, yana we hayo, yana hey yo 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 yo. Way nay nay yaho way yo, way nay nay yaho way yo, way nay nay yaho way yo. Yana hey yana, yana we hayo, yana hey yana, yana we hayo, yana hey yo. So that's that song. I think it's a super powerful song. It's just like whoa.
I know this one from Mike, but I've never heard with the throat singing, so it was really incredible.
Did Mike teach that? And
A long.
okay, well we're gonna learn it together anyway. It's new to most of you, I take it.
No one was
Great.
here.
Okay. It's an awesome song. I also learned it from Mike. So, I did not write out lyrics, so maybe we can just break it down, and if you guys want to write it down, or I personally learned it just by listening to it, just by having a recording. Just maybe some advice on learning songs. You know, the way that I personally have learned a lot of traditional songs is in the morning I like to meditate for about an hour or so. Then I sit down, like, okay, I'm pretty clean and focused now, and I just play the recording over and over again, like to the point of like redundancy, and then I will just break down each piece, and I try not to like memorize it in one day. I'll try maybe 2-3 days of listening to it, then forget about it for a week or two, then maybe not 2 weeks, but maybe 1 week, come back to the song, and then I there's some muscle memory that comes into play. One thing I want to also share is from our teacher, Maestro Manuel Rufino, who started our community, who's passed us many of these songs from the First Nation cultures, is that it's every song that is passed is then altered in some way to the next person. And when you're engaged with these songs in ceremony or meditation, it's all about the energy of the space. And so unless you're singing specific songs within the context of a specific culture, there is at least in our community, a lot of freedom to warp and change and express the songs due to the needs of the moment within the context you're singing them in. And so for me, I add in throat singing a lot to a lot of these songs. I just think it has some additional power. And then also we're talking about how it affects opening things. And so it adds, if you're for some reason feeling a little like off with the music, to engage the body in that way will do wonders for your singing voice, and also opening the heart and just connecting in that way. So I just wanted to share that there's freedom to explore musically, even with traditional songs. And I think from what I've been shared, that's part of the tradition to do that. Just wanted to offer that. So for that song, maybe we can do a little call and response. Might be a good way to do it. Break it down that way, and I'll do my best to keep it in line. So, way nay nay aho way yay yo. Way nay nay aho way nay yo. Way nay nay aho way yay yo. Way nay nay aho way nay yo. Way nay nay aho way. Way nay nay aho way. Hey hey yo. Hey hey yo. Yana hey yana. Yana hey yana. Yana wehi hayo. Yana wehi hayo. Yana hey yana. Yana hey yana. Yana wehi hayo. Yana wehi hayo. Way, oh, that's okay. Way nay nay yaho way yo. Way nay nay yaho way yo. Way nay nay yaho way yo. Yana hey yana, yana wehi hayo, yana hey yo. Okay, I just sang the whole thing to remember that. Yes.
In the first part, when you're going, hey, nay, nay, aho, hey, nay, you can go, you can also do, hey, nay, nay, aho, hey, nay, Ohio, hey, nay, nay, aho, hey, nay, Ohio. You can add the hi-yo.
Yes.
After.
You definitely can do that. And that's great to do when you have like a group of people singing the song together. So let's try singing it again. Does anyone have it? Where do you guys have it written down so far? Does any people have it written down?
Started, but definitely
Starting, okay. Okay, let's, no worries. Okay, so let's just do the call and response. Way nay nay yaho way yay yo. Way nay nay yaho way yay yo. Let's do that one more time, but let's sing that part twice together. Way nay nay yaho way yay yo. 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 Way nay nay yaho way. Way nay nay yaho way. Yana hey yana, yana wehi hayo. Yana hey yana, yana wehi hayo. Yana hey yana, yana wehi hayo. Yana hey yo. Back to the start. Way nay nay yaho way yo. Way nay nay yaho way yo. My own, all this together. How would?
Yeah, if you want to sing it once on your own, and then we can sing it all together.
Okay, cool. I'll just sing once on my own, then just come in. I'll just keep going. Way nay nay yaho way yo. Way nay nay yaho way yo. Way nay nay yaho way yo. Yana hey yana, yana wehi hayo. Yana hey yana, yana wehi hayo. Yana hey yo. Way nay nay yaho way yo. Way nay nay yaho way yo. Way nay nay Yana hey yana, yana we hey hayo. Yana hey yana, yana we hey hayo. Yana hey yana hey way nay nay ah way yo. Way nay nay ah way yo. Way nay nay ah way hey hey yo. Yana hey yana, yana we hey hayo. Yana hey yana, yana we hey hayo. Yana hey yana hey yo. Way nay nay ah way yo. Way nay nay ah way yo hey yo. Way nay nay ah way hey yo. Yana hey yana, yana we hey hayo. Yana hey yana, yana we hey hayo. Yana hey yana hey yo. Cool. So, I would encourage you guys to try just interjecting overtone singing into all these different types of songs. With the First Nation songs, there's so many like these, hey, that they're perfect for adding in this constricted overtone expression. And there's just a lot you can do with it. If you forget the lyrics, like I do quite often, then you can just kind of do that for a little bit. It gives you some space to at least remember what you're singing. What's that?
Multitasking.
Yeah,
No one
exactly.
really knows.
Yeah, you're like, okay, what am I doing again? This sounds good. I don't need to worry about it too much. I would like to show you guys one other style of throat singing, if that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, this one is really interesting because it's the first one that I learned and no one taught me. I just watched a YouTube video, and in my life I've found more people who can do this style than any other. I've also found that women can do this one pretty well, especially in the beatbox community. In the beatbox community, they don't call it throat singing, they call it throat bass, and it's something that like every female beatboxer does. These other styles, women do them as well, but it's just something that's not incorporated into so much of like modern Western culture that it's not really seen as often maybe in like New York City women. Because the throat bass is something that's used in beatboxing, I've just seen it around New York City more. So this style is called Kargara, and it's a really deep kind of growling sound, and it's like this. So this is a style that is also used by the Tibetan monks. You'll see them do this chanting a lot. It's really cool, and there's like 100 of them doing it. It's really wild. And
Tom Kenyon, the sound healer, uses that often.
what's that?
Tom Kenyon, like world
Yeah.
sound healer, he uses that toning style a lot.
You guys did like a workshop with him, right?
And he uses that throat style a lot.
Cool. Yeah, I've seen it quite a bit, and what's interesting about it is that I've found it's one of the more difficult ones to like explain to teach to somebody, but at the same time, it's one that I've seen more people just get naturally on their own than any other. So I don't know how to explain that, but that's what I've seen. So with Kargara, it's really easy to overextend and feel pain. Even knowing how to do it correctly, there's times where I do it and it just hurts, and like it's just something that I think comes through engaging that area of your body, and if you're not used to it, then it's going to be like a little awkward and a little uncomfortable first. If it tickles, that's a sign you're kind of strengthening the muscle. If it is hurting you, that's ease off, just gently. Yeah, you don't want to hurt yourself with it. If it ever hurts, it's the wrong thing. So with this style, let's start with our mouth closed and pretend that we are like ferocious jungle cats, and but we're like purring. So we're like, and it's helpful to also engage this area too. So keep doing that. I just want to share one thing about it. What you're doing here is you're not just engaging the vocal cords. There's flaps that come down called the vocal folds, also called the false vocal cords. A lot of words, concepts. But what we're trying to do is kind of push beyond the vocal cords and engage this area as well. So, and it's a very distinct feeling. And it's helpful to start with your mouth closed because you generate more back pressure. It's like a wall of air to push off of. Like imagine, don't lose the visualization that you are like a very terrifying lion or tiger or something, and you're like in the jungle. Or the Arctic, whatever. If you're a Siberian tiger, because Britt starts singing. That sounds pretty good. So I don't want you guys to hurt yourselves, but squeeze. Like, you definitely want to squeeze. If you cough a little bit, it's okay. You're not going to damage yourself doing this one time, but squeeze it.
Where in the chest do you feel it?
You know, it's more through the windpipe.
Just
It's good.
It goes from like as you explained before, like tightening down.
Are you willing to be put on the spot? Do we hear you do it? If you don't want to, it's okay. But okay, cool. Good. That's definitely going in the right direction for sure. In beatboxing, they do it like. So it's like they're doing like a on top of it, but just to share like what you might hear in New York is because we're in Brooklyn, not Tuva. You'll hear but and it's kind of like this and so you're doing but you're adding this squeeze in that like extends down. So it's like a yeah. That's good. Yeah, it's like if you can, it's really very similar to growling in a lot of ways. Growling, purring. What's that? Cookie Monster. How does the Cookie Monster sound exactly? Can someone? Wait. Do it.
You're just doing it.
Okay, so what you're doing. I mean, I don't have like an X-ray machine, but I think to get that sound, you're hitting the same part of the vocal cords that I am, and it's just a different way, which is the false vocal cords. So let's all like talk like Cookie Monster for a moment, and just observe how that sounds. Everyone, just do their best Cookie Monster impression. Cookie, I like Cookie. Yeah. Okay. So we can all talk like Cookie Monster, right? Raise your hand if you cannot talk like Cookie Monster. Okay. You can kind of, though. Close up.
I think I was just making it up. It sounded like a mix between Louis Armstrong.
Let me hear you. That's good, though, too. Louis Armstrong, like, what a wonderful life. Yeah.
Was that
Okay, so what we're doing when we drop into that really low octave, I guess, and we're hitting the right area of our throat. So instead of trying to like necessarily articulate words through there or talk, try to just hold like a ah tone. So instead of going like cookie, go and then it's not exactly the same place, but it's good. But it's a great compass to put you in touch with the deeper part of your throat. So like, I'll just transition from the Cookie Monster to the Karkara. So like, cookie. So it's not quite the same thing, but it is very similar. You guys are giving me crazy looks. I'm saying
Sounds like it goes
try.
lower.
What's that?
Sounded like it went
It's like an octave
lower.
lower or some sorts. So, you know, in a lot of ways, it's just experimentation. Like I think, but one thing that's really helpful is hearing someone do it. So I'll just transition into it and hold it for a little while so you can just kind of get a sense of it. And then I want you guys to just try what I'm doing. So I'll talk like Cookie Monster and then go to Karkara. So how does Cookie Monster sound? Like cookie. Cookie, me want cookie. Cookie. So yeah, it's a drop. Cookie. It's totally different, but there's something similar.
Yeah.
That will.
Well, like the fluttering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fluttering, like
It's like the trill is similar.
You mean the vibration aspect of it?
Yeah, like the trilling, that's like
Yeah. So it's kind of like learning to squeeze a little bit lower, but generating the same trill of the Cookie Monster. So, okay. So we have 5 minutes left. Do you guys want to try that just for a minute or two? Okay, cool. Let's let's.
Do it like one more time.
Yeah.
The cookie. Just do the thing.
So to hold it, I'm flexing down here to keep it. I kind of let off for a second as it slipped away for a moment. So the one takeaway from throat singing it can offer is learning to engage the abs and squeeze the vocal cords. Those are the two things. And then there was a number of little tricks that I shared about, like the to the the goat voice, the Cookie Monster voice, all little things. So do you guys want to try it? Just I'm gonna listen. That sounded good. That sounded good. Keep working with that. That's good. When you're learning these styles, one thing that's helpful, I've learned this from teaching didgeridoo, is that there's just a fundamental drone, right? So there's the ooh, then there's a harmonic. Ooh, when you're just learning the style, it's helpful to just focus on the drone without getting too much into the harmonic, because it complicates the mind. And if you don't build the foundation, it's very hard to put up the walls and the roof. So just learning the fundamental drone is great. At the same time, I'm also the kind of person with music that advocates just experimenting and, just expressing your own version of whatever and not being so like, you must do it this way. It's just something to offer as you're practicing this. So, any questions, or would anything that anyone wants to recap when we have a few minutes, just like a couple minutes? I'm happy to go back if you want to, on anything, the song or this, anything. If not, that's okay too. We can just close. We can go back to doing one thing with the Shruti and singing together.
Let's do Cookie Monster
Yes.
Do the song all together one time too.
Okay, so we'll do the Cookie Monster and then the song, and yeah, okay, cool. So the Cookie Monster was doing like, no, he's going like cookie. I'm gonna actually just show one thing with the Cookie Monster. You can kind of do it at that tonality. I was kind of shifting to a different one, like cookie. It's, for me, that one kind of hurts, so I do it at a higher, I think a higher register. So cookie.
Also,
Co-
so you can, like, bring it.
Yeah,
it comes up, right? It's higher, yeah. What's that?
I don't know if it goes up, it's like flips.
Yeah, it has this kind of like what's happening is there's a different part of my throat is just switching on all of a sudden. There's another muscle that just flips. The first time I learned that style, I learned it at a very low one like this. And I don't like to do that because that one actually kind of hurts. I rarely ever do that. And then I was sitting in the car one day, and just the way my body was positioned, I was practicing it, and all of a sudden I did, whoa, okay, that's really high. And it worked. And then I got out of the car, and I couldn't do it, and I sat back down, and it happened I could do it again. So, okay. And I just figured it out that way. So just experimenting with your voice and squeezing and changing the shape and like not being afraid to sound ridiculous is definitely a really helpful aspect on this path. Good? Okay, cool. So I'll just sing that song. Maybe I'll just come in whenever you feel ready to come in. You can come in right away or just wait a moment. So, way nay nay yaho way yo, way nay nay yaho way yo, way nay nay yaho way hey yo, yana hey yana. Yana we hayo, yana hey yana, yana we hayo, yana hey yo. Way nay nay ho way yo, way nay nay ho way yo, way nay nay ho way. Yo, yana hey yana, yana we hayo, yana hey yana, yana we hayo, yana hey yo. Way nay nay ho way yo, way nay nay ho way yo. Way nay nay ho way hey yo, yana hey yana, yana we hayo, yana hey yana hey yo, hayo, yana hey yo. Cool. Yeah, so that's a great song. I just love that song. That's like the song to do when you just gotta get out of the energy moving really well. Cool. So I have a video on YouTube. It's like 15 minutes long, and it goes through each style really with great explanation. And there's like words at the bottom, so you can read the word. It's just my name, Jerry Walsh, and Tuvan Throat Singing. So if you were like interested in anything I was talking about here, but like maybe a little confusing, if you go to that, it's on the Dig Project YouTube channel, and I'm going to be putting out another series of tutorials on how to do this really in depth, hopefully kind of soon. And yeah, it's something that just a little bit of practice can go a long way for sure. And it, like I said, it opens up the throat tremendously in the voice. It just really is amazingly therapeutic. And there's some really awesome Tuvan throat singing bands you should check out. I would recommend, one is called Alash Ensemble, ALASH. We're actually in the process of trying to bring them to a festival that our community does in the summer called Tribal Rhythms Gathering. The other one is called Hun Her 2. They're very famous. They played at like Organ Eclipse this year. And both bands are very similar, but they're distinct, obviously. And they're just incredible. Like what they do, because there's multiple people doing different styles at the same time. and then they're playing all different types of cool instruments, drums from, you know, Central Asia, and this weird thing called an agil. It's just like a violin bow, really beautiful sound. And what they do is just really special. They have stuff on Spotify. Check it out. You'll, you know,
How do you spell the second?
HUUN space HUR, and then I think it's space just TUU. You'll be able to find them. They're pretty well known. And you know, I've seen Alash Ensemble in Philadelphia and New York City. They come around. And Hoonher too. I've never seen, but they have stuff on YouTube. Really beautiful tracks. Yeah, so check all that out. Obviously, stay in touch with the ARC and the Sacred Song class, and hopefully I get to come teach some more because it's been really fun. Really enjoyed hanging out with you guys. Thank you. Thank you, people on the internet.
We want you to come back.
Thank you, Darius.
Cool.
Amazing.
How do we? Let's all close just by.
We usually do the 4 tones.
Let's do 4 tones. That sounds great. We'll just do that. We'll stand up and we'll do the. We usually hold hands and all the good stuff like that. It's like a staple of our community, so I'll just roll with that. Cool. So we can just.
Left palm up, right palm down.
That was passed to us by this Mayan elder named Tata Pedro, a really special teacher. And so just come in with me. So deep inhalation. Oh, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you.
thank you. Golden Drum and everyone who's helped makes this possible. Thank you guys.
Yes, that's awesome.
Cool. Feel free to message me. I teach lessons on this stuff too. And just if you have a question, happy to answer questions as well. So on Facebook and all that good stuff. So thank you guys.
Have not signed in, which I know a couple of you haven't. Please
Cool.
sign in the notebook, and the energy exchange goes in the box, which is a $10 to $20 settings